Wow, 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 wow.
This door requires a very specific key.
It does, Sherlock. Hello. Hi, Gia Hero. How you doing? We doing good? We're doing fantastic. Doing amazing. Swoosh. There's a game. There is no music on the title screen. Cold got worse. Boo! Boo, cold. Well, people getting colds. They're being mean to my friends. Very rude. Well, let's get more hot chocky and spend more time coalescing with AFK journeys and tippity-tapping to toe. 'Tis the seas, 'tis the sneezing. Very rude. I haven't had one yet, but apparently it's my time. Stop remixing. Wow, Frayman hasn't even come around, and Twitch is just stepping in, remixing straight away. I thought it was Frayman that caused that, but apparently not. Ho hum. Hopefully it'll it'll fix. You can't hear this, of course, because it's remixing. But yeah, hope you get better soon, Jib. Very, very soon indeed. Let's load up the game and remind ourselves where we are. We're here. I love that they've kept that sound effect throughout, like, at least 3 of the games. Just a random accordion. So last time, where did we even start last time? It all kind of blurs into one, really. I remember we started at the cement works, which was built around a dilapidated theatre. We covertly examined the scene, or the office of Grimble, the former PA of the guy who was assassinated, and we decided not to steal anything because it would be too suspicious. We then left, did something else for a bit, and then went back at night and then stole everything. For reasons that escape me. But we had to do a stealth section in the process, and we managed to get into the theatre, the dilapidated theatre, where we found a hole full of quicklime and a body. The body had alcohol on it, which was enough for us to assume that they were from somewhere else. I can't remember the exact details, which is probably not going to be relevant, obviously. Not going to have a quiz or anything. But yeah. I guess I could look at my notes. That's not the notes button, is it? Yeah, rest lots and drink lots of fluid. Recuperate the fluids. It's important. Okay, letter found. Oh, yes. We also... 2 other things happened which seem to have no relation to anything, but Sherlock is convinced and he's the main character, so he's probably correct. Don't you love deduction by main character? That's my best kind of proof. We went to 2 places. We went to a bungalow somewhere in London. There are strikes happening. All the workers at the company that the guy who got killed used to run, because there's a whole management crisis going on. So those strikes are going on, and while those strikes were going on, someone got killed in their house. We went to examine because Sherlock thought it was important, and we found a pawn ticket for, I don't know whether it was the silver earring of the title or it was a golden earring. Both have been mentioned at some point. Feel like you're developing abs just by the force of the sneezing. Oh no! Diaphragm workout. Unintentional diaphragm workout. Yeah, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Have you got those sneezes that are so strong you feel them in all your joints? Like you have to take like a second to, or like 10 seconds to recuperate the ability to move joints. Yeah, is he though? Is Sherlock always right? Yes, because he's the protagonist and he's written like that. If he was a real person, he wouldn't be, but you know, that's not what this is. So yeah, we did that, and somebody got shot because he pawned a thing, and the person was looking for the thing. It might be the silver necklace, can't remember. Or I guess I could look. The... Fowlet? No, that was the guy who got... That was the lawyer. Do we just have nothing written down about this? Okay, apparently we didn't bother to write any of this down. Hunter's house? Maybe Hunter's house? We were one thing down about Hunter's house, which is that in the bedroom, on the bedroom, is half of a footprint somebody left when coming through the window, bigger than 8 but smaller than 12. Not that far yet, but definitely filled in for a lot of the body. Yeah, so Hunter, the guy who just died randomly after pawning a thing. Yeah, the random guy who got murdered. It's obviously relevant, but as far as any information we've been given is concerned, it isn't. So we went to that. That was one thing. The other thing that happened is that Holmes decided to get into a disguise, by which he meant a different outfit. Didn't change his voice or anything, and go to a monk's, like an abbot in the middle of the woods somewhere. Because, oh yeah, that's because the body... Yeah, this was it. The body in the quicklime that we found, or quick lie or whatever it was, we found in the theatre had a bottle on him which had the name of this abbey. So he was like, I need to investigate this abbey, because that's obviously the most crucial point of interest. When we went there, we found out that a bunch of people with otherwise no fixed address tend to hang around in some nearby ruins and go into the abbey and pilfer alcohol. Therein we found some notes. Letter at the ruins, writing corresponds to those found on a piece of paper in the office of Grimble under the tiger statue, but this time the author has drunk much before writing. As we got there, everything was on fire, so people were trying to burn evidence. Or there was just a fire. Yeah. The ink is not English. Frankly, I have no idea where this is going. I have a few ideas with regards to the theatre and the theatre troupe. We were attacked by people from the theatre for investigating, so I do have some ideas as to how that connects to this story. But apparently this is the last location, so we may find out all tonight in the finale. After its triumphant tour on 3 continents, Fairfax Theatre Company is pleased to present the exclusive world premiere of Vagrancy and Profligacy by S. Prescott, with Carolyn Small and Riley Wilcox, staged by the author, company director Dwight Richards. Yes. What do you think, Watson? Literally nothing. Okay, cool. You just stand there like a sim.
Aston's Theatre. Here we are.
It's Aston's Theatre, everybody. Why are we here? Can't remember. Right. You. I have to talk to your feet.
We are not open to the public yet, gentlemen. Oh, bless my soul. I can hardly believe my eyes. It is the young Sherlock Holmes, isn't it?
Watson,
Not young
allow
Sherlock.
me to present Philotomy Kirby, who in his day was one of the last great hopes of the popular stage. He also took great pains to advance my comprehension of the many subtleties of the theatrical
Well,
arts.
he didn't do a great job, did he?
So he can still prattle away.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
Philotomy,
This
definitely a real
is
name.
the most talented student I've ever met, upon my word, as an actor.
Only met one.
But those days are past.
Away from the mic.
So, am I speaking to the former actor or the world-renowned detective today?
I'm over here, by the way. You're looking over my shoulder. Yeah. The man's looking at us. This guy does not believe in a fourth wall. Troupe.
Tell me, what you know about the Fairfax Theatre Troupe?
My name is
2
Philotomy, not
months
Juno.
ago, they returned from an international tour. Richards, their director, had managed to secure the necessary funds to buy back Aston's. It seems he had finally resolved his troubles.
Get out of trouble.
He was in some kind of trouble.
Oh, it's always the same with those tours abroad. Your star actress marries an emir. Another time, the entire troupe has their luggage stolen. Anything is possible. and whatever occurs is usually nothing good. But who would have imagined such a tragedy?
A tragedy.
What tragedy?
Their last tour started about 3 years ago. At that time, the troupe was housed at the Fairfax Theatre. But a series of failures forced the owners to sell it at a substantial loss. The owners were 3 individuals: Dwight Richards, their current director, Miss Davenport, their star actress and the mistress of Richards, and lastly, a young actor, costumier, makeup man called Jeffries.
Named.
They decided, after the sale, to launch an international tour in order to raise funds.
Their success was assured?
Yes, the fame of English theatre is worldwide. During their travels, Jeffries and Miss Davenport developed a close relationship, which was much to the regret of the hot-headed Richards. He is a gypsy by birth. No one can be more possessive and quick-tempered than a gypsy.
Ding
Pray
on the racism
continue.
thing.
In short, a dark tragedy occurred in a village in Latin America, located not far from the Amazon. One evening, after their performance, someone noticed that Miss Davenport and Jeffries had gone missing. The local authorities were notified, and the alarm was raised.
It was only a matter of time. Yeah, I thought it would be longer. We're, what, 10 minutes into gameplay? Richards!
And Richards?
Richards was implicated in some manner, it seems to me. However, there was no proof of his involvement, and no bodies were ever found.
What a strange case.
If you need more details, you should ask the actors. As you may observe, they are rarely able to hold their tongues.
I will see you later, Kirby.
Yes, it was good seeing you again.
Well, the thought grows plicker. Oh god, I forgot about moving. I haven't even set up Claudio yet. There's no Claudio today, so if I click off, I'm just going to click off. The music's quieter in this corner. What if I just...
can't enter like that.
Hang on.
I can't enter like that.
Stop walking, Watson. Stop it.
I can't enter like that.
There you go, that's a nice clean take. Hello!
Hello, young man. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm sorry. You startled me. I'm looking at her.
It is sealed tight from the inside.
Are you from the press? Of course you are. You must be here to interview her. Oh, the play is wonderful, and Miss Caroline will surely shine. If only my father could have seen this day.
What a weird situation we've just walked into. Your father?
Your father?
Yes, I am Bruce Aston, and my father was Clyde Aston, the former owner of the theatre. It may have fallen into some disrepair, but during its time it was well loved by so many. A host of young actors debuted on that venerated stage.
Debuted?
Why, it was at this very spot where Mr. Richards first met Miss Davenport.
So you don't know a lot about the business then. Debuted.
Debuted.
Closer, I guess. Fairfax Theatre.
Have you ever heard of the Fairfax Theatre?
It is the theatre which was demolished. It seems to me that it had been owned by Mr. Richards together with Miss Davenport and a friend of theirs. They left on an extended tour, but I think it went badly for them. After his return, Mr. Richards bought the theatre back from the bank, and I do hope his good fortune will continue.
Well, we can hope.
With the talented Miss Caroline, I think anything is possible. And the building is still solid and comfortable. Though the bank took over the theatre, they left the keys. From time to time, I would do what I could to tidy up a bit or see to a broken window.
Yeah, it's not quite what demolished means, but... Whatever. Like, we're talking about theatre. Exaggeration is part of the business. Your presence here. Why are you here?
Are you a part of the troupe?
Yes. When Mr. Richards noticed how I had worked to keep the place up, he hired me. I helped Mr. Kirby a little, and also Mr. Trumpet backstage.
That's the name of a puppet. Are you friends with the puppet? Sherlock Holmes and the Muppets. I'm willing to go for this. If that's the way this is going to turn.
Goodbye, young man.
Goodbye, sir.
Right, you standing there, but doing absolutely nothing, staring into the distance.
Excuse me. May I ask you some questions?
Naturally, I'm listening to you.
Righto. Rehearsal.
You are rehearsing at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, we are in rehearsal for the play we are to perform at the month end. Are you critics or reporters? As you know, we just came back from an extended tour. We were a triumph everywhere we performed.
Sure. Tour.
Tell us about this international tour.
We performed in France, in Switzerland, and even for an Arab prince. We were met with acclaim at every stop. If
Would this qualify as a hate crime?
We
Possibly.
would appear next in New York. But fate had other plans for us.
Tragedy.
What sort of tragedy?
Is it your voice?
Surely you must have heard about it. All because of those in our company who assumed the right to reveal every distasteful and intimate detail of a most tragic event.
Yeah.
Anything to gain publicity
Yeah.
for themselves.
Yeah.
It is positively
Yep.
scandalous.
Carry on.
But even a professional actor such as myself respects the privileges of the press
Yep.
and the public's right to know.
Cool, that was all pointless. Carry
Your
on.
sensitivity honours you.
Please,
Shut up,
continue your story.
The events took place in a most sordid place in Brazil
Sordid?
named Guacamole or Babiamo or something like that. I still
That's
don't
in
for
universe
myself
racism, that's fine.
What we were doing there in the first place. But to be brief, our talented costumier, Mr. Jeffries, had been having a tete-a-tete with the beautiful Miss Davenport. Unfortunately, she was still very much the mistress of our director, Mr. Richards. I tell you, the tension was unbearable.
Really?
Tit.
In the view of a professional,
That's optimism,
they
Jeep.
were the worst hours of my life. Miss Davenport was spending the whole day closeted in her room.
Closeted?
Mr. Jeffries trembled so uncontrollably
Might be
that
tit-tit,
he
then.
was unable to do our makeup. Mr. Richards stepped in, and I must say, he was a pitiful substitute. May you never be so ill-fortuned as to have your face in his large, hairy hands.
I'll try and avoid it. Try and avoid it. Sorry, I read guacamole and just sort of decided to stop speaking.
And then?
Our first performance
And then-
was naturally well received.
Got to do with
That
guacamole.
very night, a tragedy took place. Mr. Jeffries and Miss Davenport went missing not long after the performance ended. It was impossible to find them. Then we heard that Mr. Richards was arrested on suspicion of murder regarding Miss Davenport and Mr. Jeffries. We were outraged and most indignant. Some entertained thoughts that we would never leave that godforsaken place.
How was the matter resolved?
Fortunately for Mr. Richards and all of us, the prison warden and local chief of police was an Englishman. Lacking direct evidence or even a corpse, the accusations against Mr. Richards could not stand. He was
corruptible,
set
got it.
free on the spot. I think that had it not been for the intervention of that young expatriate, we might have been stranded in that Amazonian swamp for all eternity.
Don't worry, you're not really missing much, Sheep. Goodbye.
Well, thank you for your assistance.
That's all right. Don't hesitate to seek my help.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of hesitation. Yeah, exactly. Right, do you have a normal voice?
Don't listen to that milk toast.
Good, I like
He
it.
gets positively weak in the knees over redheads. A policeman is just a policeman. That's it. If Richards isn't in jail, it's only because he had nothing to do there.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't understand any of that either. Tragedy?
We were talking about the tragedy which occurred during your previous tour, and
You aren't the press, are you? No. In my opinion, you seem more like policemen. Well,
Your face is
listen
concave.
closely, inspectors. Miss Davenport was nothing more than an aging woman who adored seeing all the men at her feet.
What? Don't you mean...
She toyed with both Richards and Jeffries like two little puppets.
Yeah.
Dwight Richards is quick-tempered, but he wouldn't harm a hair on her head. And if you are eager to be so helpful, please, find my red-haired wig.
Bye.
we must continue our investigation.
Of course, of course.
You are somehow less useful than that guy. Impressive. Statler? Waldorf? No? Shame. There are stairs right there. Okay.
Hello, miss. I'm sorry for disturbing you.
I'm not.
Oh, you are welcome.
Rehearsal!
Are you rehearsing the new play?
Yes, we are hard at work. Excuse me, did I just hear Mr. Kirby calling you Holmes? Is it really possible that you were the great detective, Sherlock Holmes? And you were Dr. Watson?
Statler Holmes and Dr. Waldorf, indeed.
I'm investigating the facts of the terrible events that occurred during the company's last tour.
Oh, I see. You were interested in that case. It's still a complete mystery, even for those who were there.
It is a mystery as to what it's got to do with what's going on here, although I do have suspicions. Veronica!
Tell us about Miss Davenport.
She was fabulous and positively mesmerised men. She confessed to me that she had been indiscreet with our costumier, Jeffries. She had left Richards before, but she always came back to him. She said he understood her completely without her even saying a word.
Until that last time.
Earring.
Forgive an admiring expert, but your earring is absolutely magnificent.
Is it silver?
Oh, that was a gift from Veronica. She got it along with 2 other matching earrings and a small jewel case.
3
She
earrings.
gave me this one, another to Doris, and kept the most beautiful for herself.
What?
Veronica insisted on cleansing it herself weekly with a special cleanser.
What?
It was remarkable and kept the earring all sparkling like stars.
All sparkle.
When I saw her last, Veronica was wearing her earring. She never parted with it.
Doris?
Where can we find Doris?
She must be in her dressing room.
Okay, this person does exist at least. Goodbye.
Goodbye, miss, and thanks.
You're welcome, Mr. Holmes.
Dressing room. Who's Doris? New person. Because we needed more people. Oh, look, this opens now. You dead? You're asleep. Thought it was a crab then. No, it's a human head on a crab leg. Anything to steal before we go ahead?
Pardon?
Why can people not allow actors their peace and quiet? They walk through here as if it were a common thoroughfare. Nothing strange about that. They still haven't bothered to change the locks. Anyone can enter at will and abuse me. Me, who in the 50s, I was rather good actually. Did you see me? With the best, me. And they just treat me and, oh.
She tried.
It's locked.
This is why voice, direction is important. Rehearsal.
Are you rehearsing?
Everyone has his own technique. Cheers.
Charles. Earring.
Miss Small told you about your earring. Would you mind showing it to us?
It can't be sold. Do you think that actors have no heart?
The
I
actors.
would prefer dying of thirst than parting with it. My friend, my best friend Veronica, who I love like my own daughter, she gave it to me. My little Veronica. She... Veronica.
This can't be the last location, can it? This can't be how this ends. Something about how the women's sleeves are glued to the skin rather than give it more room like the men's sleeves in this game. But the women's movements really show that the joints are so wonky for these models. What? Wonky? No. It's practically indistinguishable from the real thing, which is mannequins. Veronica.
Do you know what has happened to your friend?
Left. She left with that Jeffries. Oh, I know what they say. That Richards murdered them both. Why not? He did everything for them. Everything! She was naught but a common flower girl.
Massive
And
hands.
that Jeffries was a mere servant. He made them actors. Yes, actors. Yes.
Love it when my elbow folds in, like folds in half like a paper tube. It's cathartic.
Oh, we'd better leave you to your rehearse.
Out! I need to concentrate.
All right then, let me steal your things. Is this the whole thing? Okay, we don't have a map for it. But...
Let us see whether we can find other evidence.
Oh, okay. There was another door, but... Well, none of this is going as I expected, but,
What chaos!
I know, your head's been replaced by a lamp! Oh, the reading needs to be done, so I'm I'm Watson now.
Through the flying dragons of the Virgin Islands, the land of gargantuan man-eating crabs.
It was a crab!
Love in the heart of the Black Desert. This author seems to be particularly inept.
That was a human head on a crab. I was right! It's a man-eating crab! I mean, it was a crab eating a man. You know what I mean? Why the judgment? It's
These
judgy.
items are poorly made.
See?
Observe the antique armor as mere painted relief. These items are poorly made.
Because Watson's like that. He's the judgy son, sir. Costumes is inventory.
A set of costumes. There are 30 listed.
It's with Holmes now. The silver earring! It says as if that should be significant. Guaciamo. Secrets of the Amazon by H. Estwick. This road is the only sure way to reach Guaciamo, the town of parrots. Indeed, the branch of the Amazon where this town is situated is impassable due to the rapids. Many explorers have capsized there and were likely eaten by piranhas, as their bodies were never found. Even the native Indians from the nearby jungle refused to try these rapids. Instead, they employ their sturdy boats for sedentary fishing. Their ancestral mode of fishing is quite original. They use primitive spears to harpoon big fish while they watch from their dugouts. They conduct elaborate ceremonies to invoke the power of their gods before fishing or hunting and have much success with it. Whoops. I don't know whether these gods exist, but the savages are incontestable archers. Again, in-universe racism. I think that's understandable. You should look after yourself so as not to offend them if you wish to negotiate with them. Certain tribal members are more sociable than the rest. They are agreeable to offer tobacco, some weapon or incredible handmade objects in trade. These magnificent crafted items are often adorned with splendid green parrot feathers in honor of the conquistadors who named this town. You can also acquire leather goods made from the silky skin of the arboreal monkeys which are hunted in this region. Is this going to get relevant at some point? This leather is comparable to the touch of the finest silk and is unique in all the world. Unfortunately, as in many other cases, there are those most unscrupulous people who manage to give the taste of alcohol to these naive populations. This poses a substantial threat to these small tribes and their future. There is also the steady arrival of gold prospectors and adventurers who have chopped down their forests and made the Indians more aggressive. Some of my guides, the people you're already calling savages, some of my guides have clearly suggested that this primitive but picturesque culture will one day end in a bloody bath. All right then. Oh, that was Judgy Book, wasn't it? Are we done here? I like to think we're done here. Oh, bye. I don't know why I'm Watson now. He doesn't know how to use a book. Now we're Holmes again. Is that a door over there? Can't walk over there. Why did that fade to black?
Who is it?
Mr. Richards, my name is Sherlock Holmes. You may put away your knife. Rest assured, I am indeed Sherlock Holmes. Thank you for receiving us, Mr.
Weird
Richards.
delivery.
Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I will answer your questions, Mr. Holmes, only because I have heard about you.
Is this me doing a voice? I've heard just Sherlock Holmes. I will answer your questions about our cold. Sir Bromsby.
Would you tell me about Sir Bromsby?
I will not lie to you, I hated Bromsby. He is the cause of all my troubles, I swear. I have often dreamed of killing Bromsby with my own 2 hands.
As have you.
But I didn't kill him.
Wong Jie.
Do you know an Asian named Wong Jie?
What would he be doing there? Well, in the days of the Fairfax Theatre, I once employed a Chinese fellow who went by that name. However, I was forced to dismiss him because he was a great deal of trouble, and I've never seen him since that time.
Sorry, my brain just took a step back and realised what's this game has turned into in the last half hour. Oh dear. Reading ahead in the walkthrough, the ending seems so underwhelming for everything that's happened, but we'll see. Don't undersell yourself, you could do better than that. Well, I try. Keys from Fairfax.
You retain several keys from the Fairfax Theatre, don't you?
Well, I don't understand the purpose of your questions, but yes, there were indeed 2 keys for the Fairfax Theatre main door. When the bank took possession, we gave only one of them to Bromsby's assistant. When asked, we lied and said there was only 1 key.
But why?
Well, we kept the other one out of spite. We had thoughts of returning in the night and wreaking havoc, but we had no opportunity, as we left for abroad after the transfer to go on our tour. I suppose the key may have been lost somewhere along our travels.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting the part of Poirot, mate. Miss Davenport.
About the disappearance of Miss Davenport.
I don't know why you want to talk about it. Does some vile curiosity cause you to torment me in this way?
Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Richards.
It is nothing, Mr. Holmes.
I should reveal one of my hints.
Should I? What? Photo of a pretty young girl. This is the
I
actress.
should reveal one of my hints.
No, okay. I have a knife as well.
I should reveal one of my hints.
I've got an earring.
Oh, this can't be possible. How did you come by this? Dear God, if only someone like yourself had been present that evening.
Tragedy. When the feeling's gone and the writing's gone and the acting's gone and the pacing's gone, it's tragedy.
Please tell us what's happened.
That night, after the performance, I left to stroll alone along the riverbank. The next morning, I had barely returned when I was seized by 2 local policemen and led to a prison cell for interrogation.
It says good morning.
When I got there, an Englishman, the local chief of police, told me that a deserted boat had been discovered along the opposite bank of the river. Inside the boat, I found a star covered with blood.
A star?
It belonged to Veronica, who had vanished, along with my other partner, Jeffries.
And then what happened?
No one could prove my innocence, but they also found no proof of my complicity in these events, nor had they found any bodies.
These games give you the confidence to go into voice acting, even though you have no experience or aspirations when it comes to voice acting. We've come a long way since these games. Thank God. Partners.
Tell us a little more about your partners.
I had met Jeffries while on tour. He was just a young tramp drunkard. Whatever my feelings were then, I feel no pity for him now. He betrayed me. But it wasn't the same with Veronica. I fear the pain caused by these events will forever haunt me.
Well, I learned a lot. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mr. Richards.
It is nothing, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, no, that is an accurate description of what just happened.
This man is a wonderful actor.
Maybe, Watson. Maybe.
And this is why Watson is an unreliable narrator. Oh, perfect. All right, then.
Let us see whether we can find other evidence.
There may be other evidence. Can't run indoors. Okay, so it has to be in here. Points at the Thog, Jeff. Easy though. Something else to grab. Oh, I see our cursor changes when we're in Watson. It's a little scribe thing. Which is why he's judgy. He's an author himself, you know. Are we at liberty to use our things? Like investigate with the magnifying glass? Or... cut up the costumes.
But I count only 29.
Oh.
Yes, the artillery officer uniform is missing.
Oh, how curious. I could not have thought that might be the case. Is that it? Are we done? We may be ready to leave. I like how Holmes is just standing there being like, you can get it, Watson. You can work it out. Come on. And there we go. And now this way.
We are in the backstage area.
I thought I said baggage area. What's over here? Oh, that was the door we just came through. That doesn't make a lot of physical sense, but let's not worry about it. Hello, you. I'll do the talking because my assistant is incompetent.
May I ask you a few questions?
It all depends on what you're asking.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
My job, my lord. I'm making this jumble look a bit neater.
Tragedy.
Could you tell me what happened in Brazil?
Yes, my lord, I was there when it happened. But Mr. Richards takes it very personally if we chat about those times, and I won't risk my position without some consideration, if you get my meaning.
I have a knife. 5 guineas.
Here's 5 guineas. How's that?
Oh, my lord, you're too kind.
Oh, sorry,
I don't
I'll take
much
2
of
back.
What happened? You see, I was alone at a tavern that night, and I was, as one could say, very fond of the local alcohol. When I returned to our lodgings, I learned that the actress
We got our
and the
money's worth
costumier had
tonight,
taken to
but we
their
paid
heels.
nothing. That's what we got.
I made my way to the inn with all haste to learn what they'd taken in their sudden departure. You must understand my position. I was solely responsible for the security of the luggage and troop properties. Can you then imagine my surprise when I saw that nothing was missing? Absolutely nothing. They hadn't even taken their personal items. I can understand that of a man like Jeffries, but it was most unusual for a lady such as Miss Veronica. So the idea came to me that perhaps they hadn't truly left, you see.
Oh, the thought blickens, Richards.
And what of Dwight Richards?
I learned that Mr. Richards had been seized by the local authorities. It seemed he was under suspicion for the murder of the missing lovers. This was too incredible. And then there's another odd thing that weighs on my mind. When we finally returned to England, Mr. Richards asked me to do him a small personal service. What was strange was that he insisted I keep the matter confidential and not breathe a word of it to anyone.
5 guineas?
What kind of service?
Well, there's a small room with an iron door located above the backstage. It was used to store the stage lights and fireworks. He asked me to help him move all of Miss Veronica's personal belongings to the room. Every little thing, without exception. Her large trunk, her dresses, all of it.
The locked room.
Where is this room?
The end of the passage, but there is one difficulty. You see, Mr. Richards has the only key to the room's iron door, because only he has a complete set of keys to this building.
Accents are an ephemeral concept. You know, it's very fluid. This person is accent fluid. It's a spectrum.
Goodbye, my friend.
My respects, my lord.
Me lord. Did you just flip me off? Alright then, well, to the ends of the thing. No, don't talk to him again. Shut up.
Would you like anything else, my lord?
Yeah, I want to get through.
Goodbye, my friend.
My respects, my lord.
I can pick a lock. You got to walk around him very, very gingerly. You stay there, Watson. Don't worry about it.
Closed. Closed.
Ah, but I have a knife.
Closed.
Okay. Ah, but I have an earring.
Closed.
Ah, but I have a magnifying glass.
Closed.
Nah, but I can burn it down.
Closed.
But that was a waste, wasn't it? Yeah, from down the stairs. He knows. Do you not remember our time in the Tower of London when I could tell that a door was locked from all the way across the tower? It's one of his many skills.
Closed.
He doesn't want to come up here at all.
Brock never met no lock he couldn't lick.
Need to talk to Bruce Aston again for keys. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thank you. He's in charge of the building. Makes sense. Evil crab! Oh, wait, you.
She is fabulous, isn't she?
Shut up. Keys!
Do you have a complete set of keys to the theatre?
Oh, yes. Take them. But you will see to their safe return?
Yes. Not to you, though.
Goodbye, young man.
Goodbye, sir.
How fortunate that you were here, hiding behind some chairs. And once again, down the long corridor. You stay there, Watson. Heal. Not heal, stay. Sit. All lowercase Aston's is key. I know this company isn't English, right? But there was just something about how that kept falling apart, as I mentioned. I just wanted to point out that it was a lowercase a, and then I saw Aston's is, and then I saw key. Singular. It just kept happening.
Watson, stay there and inform me if Richards arrives.
Stay.
All right, Holmes.
I just said stay. Bloody
Let us see
imbecile.
whether we can find other evidence.
Right, Parasol?
I have no interest in this.
It closed. Was there anything behind it?
I have no interest in this.
They rendered this just so he could stand in front of it. Stolen that.
A gift from the gods. I need something.
What am I picking up? Or am I just moving things out of the way?
I need something.
What? Look at it. Okay.
Nice pattern made of encrusted nacre. What does it mean? This lock has never been forced.
Got another one. Maybe the same stuff as this.
This is the vault, 47. The data core should be behind that large steel door.
What if I force it though? I don't really know where the lock is.
I see.
Yeah, there we
To open the safe, I must have the two other earrings.
Right. They're not earrings, they're keys. This should be called the secret of locked.
That is of no use to me.
Oh, put it on, go on.
Nothing of any interest here.
Wear a hat, come on. It's a sense of adventure. Okay, so I need to get the other earrings. Take your time. Right. Strangle you.
I don't know where your wig is.
I cannot take her earring.
That's defeatism. Lowest volume. Volume mixing hadn't been invented when this game came out.
I should show her one of my hints.
I should. This earring. I mean, it's kind of hot.
Oh my stars.
No, it's an earring.
Would you mind lending me your earring? I shall give it back to you in a few moments.
Certainly. Maybe you would like to borrow Doris's earring as well. I don't believe she would give it to you, but to me, certainly. If you wait here, I will get it for you.
Could have sworn there was going to be a puzzle involved there, but cool. Moving on. A puzzle in this game? Then just give a stranger yours and someone else's items. But we are the inimitable Sherlock Holmes. We are trustworthy.
Closed.
Sorry, I have to use the A keys.
Watson, stay there.
Yeah.
All right,
He still doesn't know how to stay. We'll teach him one day. Right, back to the safe. Illegal! No puzzles for you. It's there. Okay.
It is elementary.
No, it's not. Right.
Richards and Miss Davenport standing in front of the old Fairfax Theatre. But who is this third man?
I don't know. I would like to see it. Are you going to show it to me? Here we go. Who is this mysterious third man? Silly.
Descriptions of exotic landscapes. Nothing of interest.
What?
Well, gentlemen, you arrive at precisely the right moment.
Is your good mood a sign that you have found something of interest?
Absolutely, Holmes. It seems to me I caught the right end this time.
What? Really?
We learned about it only by chance.
Skipped.
It appears that at 1 o'clock this morning, Grimble arranged for his solicitors to send his demands to the court for the appropriation of Bromsby Enterprises. My men will spare nothing in their search for the elusive Grimble.
Lestrade, pray, continue.
Then I followed your advice and we advanced further into our investigation of Mr. Richards. Did you know that his true name is Gaetano Riccardino? As this, Mr. Riccardino, at age 19, he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for armed robbery of a fair stall. And who would you think the complainant was in this case? In truth, a certain Melvin Bromsby. This new evidence of his criminal past makes him another principal suspect in these murders.
Very interesting. Any other findings?
It would seem that Grimble and Richards are old associates. They were both intimately involved in the sale and transfer of the Fairfax Theatre. These two make quite a pair, don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lestrade, I'll keep my thoughts on these matters secret for the moment.
Bah, you're not playing according to Hoyle. Really, Holmes, you must at least tell me your opinions on Richards.
Mr. Richards is an intelligent person. He is a man of great personal resources.
And a terrible actor.
If I had the power of Scotland Yard at my disposal, I would take all steps necessary to ensure that Mr. Richards is secure within a prison cell. And the sooner the better for all concerned. When the case involves murder, it is not wise to underestimate any possibilities.
You are a good man, Holmes. I swear upon my name that within the space of an hour our friend Mr. Richards will be warming a cold cell at Dartmoor.
Very well, my friend. By the way, I would like to see you tomorrow at Sherringford Hall to discuss in greater detail some of the more puzzling elements of this case. Can I expect you?
I would not miss it for the world. This is most fortuitous, as Miss Bromsby also invited me to the hall. I was told they had good news to share, and it seems to me an engagement announcement must be at hand.
So, we shall see you tomorrow. Let us return to Baker Street.
Oh God, there's going to be an exam, isn't there?
Well, is Lestrade right? This case does seem resolved.
There is but one piece missing that I need to complete this puzzle. Oh, it's not very important from the criminal point of view, but from the economic aspects of this case, it is essential. Regarding the question of whether Lestrade is correct, I will give you 2 items that should provide the answer that you seek. The first is a table representing the shoe sizes of the main characters in this case. Examine it carefully, Watson.
Oh God, not you.
A parcel for you, Mr. Holmes.
Okay, it went quickly.
Ah, this would be Mycroft. Here is the
Mycroft.
final piece, which completes our puzzle, Watson.
Would this be the second element?
Yes.
What second element?
You have just said that in order to determine if Lestrade is correct, I would need to consider 2 items. You told me about the shoe sizes, and I ask if this news article is the second clue.
Oh, no account. The second clue is a question. A very simple question. The answer will take the grass under the feet of several English citizens. For if they cannot even guess the answer to this question, they are for the gallows. The question is as follows. Watson, do you think that Horace Fowler slept with a cushion?
Fowler?
It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings. The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay, let's read these first. Right, Raymond Waters. Bombay Observer, popular newspaper. The 24th of February, 1897. Early in the morning, the lifeless body of Mr. Raymond Waters, a well-known engineer, was found on a lane to the Market District. At an early point in the investigation, it was found that a brawl was the cause of his unfortunate demise. The date of his funeral services has not yet been announced. All suspects' foot sizes. All the men have shoe size approximately 7, except the following. Sir Bromsby Johansen, 10. Cocker Lamb? And Lieutenant Harrington, 9. Colonel Patterson, Horace Fowlett, 6. Miss Bromsby and Miss Lambert, 4. I remember some of those people. Desperate message. I can't believe that you would take it all back. Everything cannot be finished between us. Let us meet tonight, I beg you. What? What? Devil out of or whatever. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Wink wonk. Right, okay, questions. Are there several sets of keys to from the Aston Theatre? Yes. I have some. Did I give them back? I guess I did. Bruce Aston. He gave me his keys. Did one of the actresses lose a red-haired wig? Yes. Miss Sullivan, I believe? Question 3. Could the discovery in the dressing room... Well, hang on. Yeah, in terms of someone explicitly saying that there were different keys, it was fake Poirot, right? Who said that? Like, yeah, we kept keys just to annoy him. Could the discovery in the dressing room be connected to the case? No, completely irrelevant. Could it? Writing of the message found in the earring safe box corresponds to the writing on the visiting card of Louis Philippe de Muselier, which I found in the ladies' restroom in the evening of the Moida. What was that? Have I never looked at this? Apparently not. To the future great actress, with all my encouragement, Veronica Davenport. Louis Philippe de Muselier. Imperial head waiter and wine waiter emeritus knight of Frankfurters of the centuries-old assembly. But that's not a note, is it? The visiting card. Whatever. Oh, it is Bruce Aston. Okay. You thought for some reason the other man would be relevant. Oh, wrong one. Cool. I was right first try. So, going to be connected to the case. Yes. Dressing. There a costumes register with 30 are listed. It means one is missing in the cloakroom. A uniform of artillery officer. I mean, that is also important. But okay. Do I have to point out that guy in one of these. Someone's lost an interesting button from an artillery uniform. But the cannons are drawn instead of carved. Fake costume. Staircase room, blue tablecloths have been cut short. Why would they ever be relevant? Is this the quiz? Yes. I have questions that I need to solve. Or answer, or what have you. Can't see any reference of the French person in the red. So I'm guessing it's just more stuff in the box. I mean, surely this is enough. Could the discovery in the dressing room be connected to the case? The writing of the message found in the case, in the box, matches the writing on the card we found at the crime scene. That's enough, right? Why do we need two things? We'll go with that as well. Or I guess, like, if we want two things that match, we could do that. Like, they both reference the uniform. Could the writing on the message to Veronica Davenport be found elsewhere? Okay. I will click the desperate message, and also the French visit card. Yes. Oh, yes.
Desperate.
Desperate. I'll tell you what, this game is desperate. Almost worked. Only 4 questions this time. They get shorter each time.
We must have made an error. The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Unironically.
Are there several sets of keys? Yes, this guy gave me the keys. Did one of the actresses lose a red-haired wig? Yes, she kept complaining about it. Could the discovery in the dressing room be connected to the case? The button of an artillery uniform is carved. It comes from a fake costume, and there is a costume of an artillery officer missing from the thing. Could the writing in the message to Veronica Davenport be found elsewhere? Unless this is the wrong thing. But it's not like, not the desperate message, okay. Grimble, accounts, threat, young Grimble, money, Dwight Richards, antiques. Why would the last thing you got be in any way relevant to anything? What are we? Antiques? Are you just pointing out that they have the same writing on them, which we could have known ages ago? I mean, they're not the same writing, but okay.
It is simplicity itself, Watson. We have answered all the questions.
How can this fail so badly? Congratulations, you successfully completed your investigation. The following questions are optional, and you don't have to answer them correctly to reach the last step of the game. Oh dear. Who killed Sir Bromsby? I want to say that guy, but I'm not sure. Look at all these characters. Including nobody! Nobody killed him! It was an automaton, I tell you. Don't think it was an automaton, but... It was... Okay, it was Harrington, good. Who killed Horace Fowlett? I'm not allowed to look at my notes. Can I look at my notes? Because there were 2 footprints, right, at the house, and one of them was size 10, and the only person who has size 10 feet was the guy who got killed. So did he kill him ages ago, or...? He's not even on the list, so I doubt that. Wyatt. Who's Wyatt? Wyatt Collins. That's the nephew? No. Yes? Yes. Oh yeah, WC. Water closet. Yeah, the nephew, yeah. This is obviously a bit... Yes, it was the naif. Who killed Johansson? Who's Johansson? This is the problem. Look at all these people. There are so many people, and most of them aren't relevant. And Johansson isn't even here. Was that the guy in the lye pit? The quick lime? Who else died? This game has melted my brain. If only my brain melted this game. Just know it's Jeffries? Who's Jeffries? Is there another person we haven't met? Same guy who killed Veronica Davenport. Was that the actress? I'm really struggling to keep track of anyone in this. It's very poorly communicated to me. That is the... Okay. So she did die. Okay. I'll be honest, I assume she didn't. The ability to look at the evidence again would be lovely. I know it's not important. Don't understand how any of this is relevant or how you're meant to figure any of this out. It might explain it later. I mean, I want to say Richards. Seems clear, right? But also not, maybe? It is Jeffries. Who's Jeffries? Am I blind? I don't see a Jeffries. Do we have a first name? Quite a lot of these characters are just given by first name. Spencer? Panister? That's probably a last name. Is this another 2 walkthrough situation? I know you're trying and I do appreciate it, but you know what these games are like. Again, I can't look at my notes to check. Debbie, Aston, Wilcox, Sullivan, Small, Durant. Thank you, Kira. I know this is optional, but I would quite like to get it right. If only just to spend a little bit of time before we get to the end of the game trying to work out what the hell it means. I like to do a bit of theory crafting. Like, given the answers, given the solution, can we work out the actual working? Because if not, we've got issues. I think there's just so many balls in the air in this game. They're trying to juggle so many plot points and none of them are going to connect. And also, I've just realised that the perspective we're looking at in this notebook is giving me a headache. Like, as the paper goes up, as it flips over the top of the thing, it gets smaller and then gets bigger as it goes back. Spencer. Spencer. That's the, no. Spencer. The hell is Spencer? Doesn't bode well. Satterthwaite, Sue, Mary, Miss Lambert, Miss Roundtree, Spencer. Is he one of the drunk guys out the front? Okay, I think we're going to be quite far off an actual solution to this. And if this is a glitch, or if the game makers expected us to have figured out the identity Jeffries was using over the course of the game, Jeffries was Spencer, the groom at Sherringford Hall who called Watson ma'am. Right, yes, so he was one of the drunk guys. That makes sense. Disguised as being drunk. Harrington's manservant. Who's Harrington? It doesn't matter. I've talked about this before, but I read the first Poirot novel, and I had such difficulty keeping track of the characters that I kind of didn't understand the ending, and so I wanted to one day sit down and just draw them all, just to get it clear in my head. This game has 4 times as many characters as that book. That book only has like a cast of 10. We haven't met most of these people, and apparently one of the implications of one of the murderers is somebody we had a single conversation with while they were pretending to be drunk. Right, who killed Veronica Davenport? Same? Is it also Spencer? You said same person, right? Also Spencer, okay. Who killed Jeffries? No one, because that's Jeffries. Who killed Hunter? Who's Hunter? Didn't miss the end of Sherlock. You've missed much confusion, miss. We've got to the point where we're being asked who killed everybody, and I don't know who anyone is. How are you doing? You well? Hopefully you're well. Hunter is the random guy who got murdered. Yes, okay, yes. Hunter was the guy who got the pawn thing. He was going to pawn the earring. You studied, right? Because we didn't study. No amount of studying could have gotten this. No amount. He was also killed by the lieutenant. Okay. But the ending. Guy from the last game.
Cabby!
Cabby! This is an FMV.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I feel relieved that everything is settled.
Mm-hmm.
The inspector told me that you were not as useful as you had hoped in this case, but you did your best, and I am grateful to you.
On the contrary.
Dear Lestrade. Well, the inspector deliberately minimized my role in this matter so that I could reveal a secret to you.
I wish Lieutenant Harrington could be here now, but...
He had to leave for London on a very urgent business.
But how could you know?
It is my business to know, Miss Bromsby. Thus, I am able to tell you about the case of the silver earring. Everything begins on that sad afternoon, which was to celebrate your birthday, and ended with the untimely death of your father. Miss Bromsby, you did not murder your father. I kissed your hand that day and did not detect even the slightest smell of gunpowder. I also discovered powder traces that proved the shot was fired from behind the second side door. You were not seen at that door, but where did the murderer go after taking his shot? Everyone who tried to exit through the side entrance found it blocked. According to witnesses and other evidence, none of the guests could have possibly been the murderer, because they were all present in the ballroom. No one left through the service door, and traces confirm that no one could have fled by using the staircase. The windows in the kitchen, as elsewhere in the manor, were appointed with thick bars, thus they offered no escape. So did he vanish into thin air? In fact, one of the parties did leave the ballroom and went to the kitchen corridor. He left to meet his accomplice, who was not an invited guest. This accomplice was a professional actor who was disguised to resemble our missing invitee. This guest hid under voile in the shadow of a statue and waited for his moment. Meanwhile, his twin acted out his part in the ballroom and provided the murderer with a perfect alibi. When the killer heard the applause, he left his hiding place, aimed, took his shot, and hit his target. It is important to know that the actor was well placed at the manor. He secured entry to the manor by impersonating a French head waiter. Using his position, he persuaded those in charge to use long tablecloths and to arrange the tables in a most peculiar manner. When the shooting occurred, our actor joined the crowd and rapidly crept across the room, concealed under the tables. As he neared the side door, he rose from beneath the last table and acted as if he had been jostled and fallen. However, as he stood, he accidentally snagged a small piece of his dirty glove upon a chair. When he arrived at the door, which was held closed by the murderer, he tapped on it using a prearranged code and was allowed entry. He exited to the corridor while his partner continued to hold the door shut against all others. The actor discarded his disguise in the deep kitchen well, helped himself to 2 bottles of excellent whiskey, and quietly went outside. The assassin waited several minutes. Then, in the last seconds of the confusion, he returned to the ballroom. Thus, we have the crime committed by an individual whom everyone swears was in the room when the shot was fired.
But this agrees with my conclusions. Richard is an actor, and everyone swears that Grimble was in the room. I didn't consider the course of events as you described, Holmes, but admit it, our deductions agree. Moreover, both of these suspects are similar in size and manner.
Your theory presumes that Grimble is an excellent shot, which is false. It also takes on faith that Sir Bromsby had discovered the misappropriations, supplying Grimble his motive, but irrefutable proof that neither Grimble nor Richards were guilty waited at Horace Fowlett's, the matter of his pillow.
But there was no pillow at Horace Fowlett's.
Nevertheless, Mr. Fowlett slept with one. When I arrived at his home, I believed him already dead. Therefore, the news of his hasty departure came as no surprise. From the evidence obtained at his home and the statements of his neighbour, I learned the following. On the evening of his death, Mr. Fowlett was visited by a man who desired to sell him some exotic trifle. While this man distracted Mr. Fowlett, a second man quietly crept into the house and tried to open his safe. This individual was well acquainted with the house and the location of the safe, but when he failed to open it, he most likely became enraged and killed Mr. Fowlett. This individual, Miss Bromsby, was your cousin, Wyatt Collins, who returned to England under the name Johansson.
But what about this pillow?
Mr. Fowlett's pillow had vanished. Later, Dr. Watson discovered a feather from the pillow in the train compartment used by the man who impersonated Fowlett. But why did Fowlett's impersonator take the pillow, and why didn't the station manager notice it? Mr. Fowlett was short, but very portly. In order to imitate him, the man used the pillow to create the appearance of a stouter man. There is no other explanation. This man was a much leaner man than Mr. Fowlett, Mr. Grimble, or Mr. Richards.
Then, Holmes, who did murder Sir Bromsby? And for what reason?
You'll see, Lestrade, when it's a question of multiple murders, except for the deviant ones, there are 2 primary motives, revenge and greed. Wyatt Collins' presence at Fowlett's tells us his motive was about Bromsby's wealth. He went there for the express purpose of stealing the will so that he would receive at least a portion of Bromsby's estate. If his uncle had died with no will found, Collins would have been entitled to a share of the inheritance under English law.
But if my cousin failed in his attempt and the evidence clears my name, though I am to inherit, why were my father and cousin murdered? Besides, tomorrow I am to announce my engagement and will be married soon.
Hi, friends.
Holmes, hold on. There is a flaw in your reasoning. There is only one key for the door to the cement factory, and Grimble is the only person known to have it. So he must be directly involved in the murder of Johansson. I mean Collins.
Is that true, Lestrade? Mr. Richards told me that there was indeed a second key
Oh,
which
that was Colin.
lost. And have you forgotten the murder of the barman hunter? A young man without any criminal record whose sole interest
that was
were painting
Hunter.
and flowers. Why was he murdered in cold blood, with no signs of forceful entry or theft at his
That
living?
was the guy who got killed.
Simply put, he was killed because he was present when your father was murdered. But why Hunter? What did he see or hear? And above all, how did he acquire the earring of Miss Veronica Davenport, the leading actress of the Fairfax Theatre and Dwight Richards' mistress?
I can stand this no more. My thoughts are dazed. Will you finally reveal who murdered my father?
The murderer? Here he comes now. I understand your feelings of incredulity, but I have never
Someone
been more
unrelated
serious.
walks in.
You must know that the first person who enters this room is the murderer of your father, Miss Bromsby, and I will provide irrefutable proof of their guilt.
Shut up, pianist.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. You made the right choice to leave London. It is unbearably foggy. But Lavinia,
Acting.
darling, what's going on?
She knows.
But how? I mean, what? What does she know? I don't
Didn't
understand.
do very well.
Whatever do you mean?
Oh no, you understand me clearly, Mr. Harrington, and you also, Spencer. Or should I say, Mr. Jeffries?
Explain yourself, Mr. Holmes. What a monstrous misunderstanding.
Oh, I've just explained myself to Miss Bromsby about the truth of her father's murder, but I can tell the story again from the very beginning.
The actor.
It begins several years ago. Wyatt Collins, the nephew of Mr. Bromsby, is forced by his uncle to leave England for South America.
Yes.
His hatred is fostered by the ingratitude he perceives in Sir Bromsby.
Yes.
Wasn't his uncle's career financed by his mother's money? In Collins' mind, Melvin Bromsby owes him an eternal debt of gratitude, and was thus obliged to finance Collins' indolent lifestyle, fulfilling his every need. Here's our first criminal, Wyatt Collins. Then we have you, Mr. Harrington. You were a brilliant student at the military academy, and are an excellent shot, are you not? You were the only person at the reception with sufficient skills to make the shot that took Sir Bromsby's life. During my investigation, I learned that ex-officers of Her Majesty's Army enjoy great
Oh no,
favour around
Kiro.
the world for administrative positions. You left India and made your way to Brazil, where you obtained the position as warden of the prison in Guaquiamo. Do
Did
not
we have
try
evidence
to
of
deny
that?
your presence there. The pictures in your hunting portfolio could have been taken nowhere else in the world except Guaquiamo.
Why?
We now have our second criminal, Lieutenant Harrington.
Question mark.
Mr. Jeffries, your arrival in Guaquiamo set things in motion. The theatre company had come to Brazil as part of their worldwide tour. You had been involved with the lovely Veronica Davenport and loved her with a passionate yet possessive love. However, Miss Davenport did not share your affections. She
Do you
had
have
in
an
fact
actor?
tried several times to end your affair prior to the company's arrival in Guaquiamo. It seems she was truly devoted to Dwight Richards and would never leave him.
Yeah, he knows to shut up.
After you arrived, you frequented the town's bawdier spots. This is where you first met Mr. Harrington, and you quickly became close companions. It seems tedium and heartbreak do bring certain people together. After the performance, maddened by alcohol and grief, you killed Miss Davenport because she had rejected your love. You then fled to your newfound friend, the warden, to confess your crime and beg for his help. In a show of friendship, he helped dispose of her corpse and directed suspicions towards your rival, Dwight Richards.
Why
Afterwards,
would he
you
do that?
lay low, leaving the others to believe that you had been killed or had gone missing.
Why?
You stayed hidden until they had departed, and you must have kept Miss Davenport's earring as some morbid souvenir. No doubt you also retained not only the key to the Fairfax Theatre, but the keys from Aston's, where you had been employed several years earlier. Here, then, is our third felon, Mr. Jeffries. Life was difficult in Brazil for our trio.
Still going.
Mr. Jeffries rarely went out. Mr. Harrington's men were talking behind his back, and Mr. Collins' funds were inadequate. One evening, Collins spoke of his cousin, who, in a few months' time, was to return to England from finishing school. She was also the sole heir to one of the greatest fortunes in England. Imagine these three men besotted with alcohol, considering the wealth that would one day pass to this slip of a girl. A terrible plan was devised. Several days later, they left for England.
I would call
false
this plot
papers for
terrible.
2 of their party in hand, resolved to seize a portion, if not all, of this great inheritance.
Incredible.
Yes, incredible. And horribly true. At first, their plan was to forge a duplicate will
Hi,
or
Obes.
destroy the original, so that Mr. Collins would receive a share of the estate. This would happen soon enough, as they would murder Sir Bromsby at his daughter's birthday reception. It was essential that Collins enter the country under false papers, so that neither his uncle nor the authorities would be alerted to his presence in England. This would avoid any suspicion attaching him for his uncle's death when he arrived to claim his inheritance. They quickly put their plans into effect. Mr. Jeffreys arrived at the household in the guise of a stylish French head waiter and studied the lay of the manor.
So stylish.
Mr. Harrington, the assassin, would accompany a person with rather poor eyesight to the reception so that the illusion of the fake Mr. Harrington would go unchallenged. As the head waiter, Jeffreys was in a unique position to study the guest list. He quickly learned that 2 of the guests, Miss Rowntree and Colonel Patterson, had both poor eyesight and were unaccompanied.
Well, they didn't know that before.
Lieutenant Harrington was quite busy in the days before the reception. He courted Miss Rowntree with great dedication and made fast friends with the Colonel. He hoped to secure 1, if not 2, invitations to the reception. Your arrival as the Colonel's guest was your first error, Harrington. Is it credible that a young officer who left the army because of his hatred towards all military authority would easily befriend a man who embodies everything that he detests?
Yeah.
But your efforts bore fruit, and you obtained your invitation. Mr. Jeffreys, as head waiter, took great care that the tables and tablecloths were arranged specifically to accommodate their schemes. Mr. Jeffreys then secured the disguise for his role as the false Lieutenant Harrington.
Who's crawling all the way around
an officer's uniform similar to Lieutenant Harrington's and a red wig identical to the colouring of the lieutenant's hair were in storage at the Fairfax Theatre.
Wait, hang on.
He learned that the company had taken up residence at the site of the old Aston Theatre, for which he still had the key.
Luckily.
It was therefore a simple matter for him to acquire these items for his masquerade. They now only lacked the will, which Mr. Collins presumed was kept at Flowlet's house. Their plan was to take these papers prior to the murder of Sir Bromsby,
He's blonde, right?
so that Flowlet would be unaware of either their presence or a substitution until it was too late. But things went badly. Mr. Jeffreys tried to divert Mr.
That was
Flowlet,
Brown.
but he must have been alerted by some noise, as Collins struggled vainly to open the safe. Upon being discovered, Collins killed Fowlet on the spot. The 2 conspirators then left the house in such a way
it's
that
not red hair.
witnesses believed it was Fowlet himself who had left. They would now have to find another way to get hold of the money, because no doubt Sir Bromsby had disinherited Collins in favour of his daughter.
I'm putting a lot of effort into trying to focus on this.
Daughter, a young, naive and vulnerable young woman. On the day of reception, Mr. Harrington arrived with Jeffreys, disguised as his servant Spencer and the Colonel. With the promise of whiskey, Jeffreys easily secured the unwitting aid of 2 fellow servants and assumed a position at the service door. He wagered that he could pinch 2 or 3 good bottles of liquor from the kitchen if his companions would cover for him. I have just explained what happened next. After the shooting, he took 2 bottles of excellent whiskey. Only someone knowledgeable would have taken these 2 bottles over the others, and Mr. Jeffreys had been formerly employed at a luxurious hotel in France. Upon his return, he gave an accounting to his fellow servants, did his hair, and left the manor. The promised delivery of the liquor and his frightened look secured the 2 men's cooperation in providing his alibi.
His summing up is longer than most of the original stories.
In these events. The one problem for the conspirators was the barman Simon Hunter. He had perfect eyesight, unlike the Colonel, and realized that the man who claimed to be near the bar at the time of the murder had in fact lied. He hinted as much to Mr. Harrington and most certainly intended blackmail. As they were short on funds, the accomplices gave him Miss Davenport's earring as collateral and pledged to return with the money he demanded. That night, when Lieutenant Harrington visited us in London, he had just come from Simon Hunter's. Hunter had told Harrington that the earrings had been pawned, and he would not reveal the name of the shop unless Harrington paid him his money. Mr. Harrington ruthlessly killed Hunter, and the earring so precious to Mr. Jeffreys was lost. Earlier that morning, Jeffries lured Collins to the cement factory on the pretext of fabricating false evidence against Grimble. But they no longer needed Collins to acquire the Bromsby fortune. Mr. Harrington would wed the young heiress, then, after a reasonable time, they would cause her untimely death, and they would take it all.
Why would they go there
So
to do
Mr.
this?
Jeffries murdered Collins and made sure his body was barely recognizable.
What? Why?
If he was identified, it would
How did they
not
get in
affect their plans, as they believed leaving the corpse at the cement factory would direct suspicion towards Grimble. When Mr. Harrington came to see us, he learned we were hot on Collins' trail and had traced his movements up to the factory. He assumed we would go there within the hour and left to quickly round up his associates and devise a plan. Jeffries, in his days at the Fairfax Theatre, knew an Asian of questionable talents who had no visible ties with this case and could attack us without drawing suspicion their way. We avoided this attack, and from that moment, I was convinced of Lieutenant Harrington's involvement in the conspiracy. The last elements of proof were revealed at the vagrants' camp near the monastery outside of London. Mr. Jeffries had tramped through England in his past and might have thought to hide Collins in the forest near the Richmond's Abbey. The very day that I was there, he tried to destroy all evidence of Collins' murder. Fortunately, he did not manage to destroy everything. It seems Collins, foreseeing his possible death, left a small surprise for his accomplices.
Why would he
It
do
would be
that?
easily missed, except by someone who observes all and misses nothing.
But why would he do that?
But this is merely some draft to lull us to sleep, Mr. Holmes.
Yeah.
Lavinia, surely you can't believe these mad accusations. They arise from nothing. What proof do you offer for what you say? None.
No subtitles.
Believe what you will, Mr. Harrington. I will warn you that Mr. Collins left a letter written in his own hand, which named yourself and Mr. Jeffries and accused you both of complicity in the murder of his uncle. At this very moment, Inspector Lestrade's men are conducting a search of your rooms. They will find the evidence that, when added to the accusations within this letter, will prove your guilt beyond all doubt. The Chirapaqui cigarettes, your portfolio, as well as a feather from the pillow which was taken from Horace Fowlett's. These items prove my deductions.
What?
I suggest we wait here for their arrival
No, they don't.
with these proofs, and I assure you our wait will be brief.
Bravo, Mr. Holmes. Well done. Accept my apologies, my dear Lavinia. I think under the circumstances it would be best if we postponed our engagement. I'm sorry for your father, but what do you expect? We had to give it our best shot.
Where is the earring now?
No.
You will tell me, where is it? Unless you tell me at once where the earring is, no one will leave this room alive. Don't you understand? You are all going to die.
Tension.
They are all yours, Lestrade. I suggest you return with your agents to London as soon as possible.
He's a terrible
Thank you,
shot, though. He
Mr.
might miss.
Grimble, for literally applying my precepts. Watson, let us escort Miss Bromsby to her rooms. She will need her rest.
Well, that happened.
Holmes, Collins never named either Harrington or Jeffries in his letter.
Indeed, Watson, but they could not have known. I played my bluff, and they believed me.
And Grimble, where
Just made
did
it
he
up.
appear from?
You can now boast that one of the most influential men in England served as your driver. Since my visit to Fowlett's, I knew that Grimble had nothing to do with this crime. I asked him to assist with the investigation, and it was at my request that he took steps to acquire Bromsby Enterprises. He gained us precious time by forcing Harrington and Jeffries to wait and see if Miss Bromsby would inherit. He ran quite a risk in doing me this favour, because their plot then turned against him. I also asked him to send the letter which lured the two murderers away from the hall. I needed a moment to explain everything to Miss Lavinia. It would be dreadful if she fell into the hands of her father's killer.
Are they...
From the beginning, Grimble was concerned only with saving her inheritance. He never once doubted her innocence.
Nevertheless, didn't he misappropriate those funds?
Indeed, but not for his own profit. It was solely to protect his friend Bromsby. An ex-architect with whom he had quarrelled, a Mr. Waters, had contacted Sir Bromsby before this intrigue began. Waters learned from Captain Bowie that Sir Bromsby had encouraged certain actions against workers hired to build a bridge in India. That project was the bridge over the Kalidasa Abyss.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're covering up for that.
Bromsby from afar. Grimble received the letters and considered them to be quite serious. He knew his hot-tempered friend well and preferred to conceal the blackmail attempt for fear of disastrous consequences. So, Grimble made regular payments to Waters in exchange for his silence. Unfortunately, Collins discovered the arrangement while he was working at the cement factory and threatened to reveal everything. Grimble could not afford for that to occur.
I got that.
He managed to rid himself of Collins by sending him to Fowlet. Then it was Bromsby's turn to discover the blackmail by sheer accident. He was angered, but before he could decide his next move, Mr. Waters died suddenly and removed all threat. When Grimble learned that Waters had died, he confessed all to Bromsby. He noted that the money paid was a pittance when measured against Bromsby enterprises, and that the same amount could now be applied in other ways. India had enriched them so greatly, and Bromsby had been cursed over the harm done to the Indian people in his employment. It was decided that these same funds would now be sent on a monthly basis to a Bombay orphanage in the care of a...
Oh, that's fine then.
It is possible that Bromsby...
That excuses genocide.
And this was the important news he intended to reveal to the press at his daughter's reception. It was she who had harshly reproached him regarding his behavior towards the Indians in his employ. Do you remember the words from that poem which he had written into his notes? It said that the ungrateful always die miserably.
Indeed, Holmes. But there is one thing that I still don't understand. Why did you ask Lestrade to put Richards behind bars? He wasn't guilty of any crime, but you treated him as a murderer.
I advised Lestrade that it would be prudent to place Richards in custody so we could protect him from harm. Mr. Richards is a wise and intelligent man. He would have recognized Harrington and Jeffries on sight. When he realized that Jeffries was alive and that I possessed the missing earring, he would have drawn the same conclusions as I. So this investigation would have been stopped cold by one or two more murders.
I see.
Well, Watson, you seem to know everything. Tell me, please, that small missive which I can see on the desk. It contains 2 invitations to the opera's opening night, does it not? If so, we shall finally have our opportunity to hear this marvelous soprano. Well, what do you say, Watson?
You sure you want to see how long you can drag this out?
What do you suppose they call that? A novelty act?
I don't know, but it wasn't too bad.
Well, that's a novelty.
Oh, that was the best one you could have found.
What's wrong with you?
It's either this show or indigestion. I hope it's indigestion.
Why?
It'll get better in a little while.
Execute Chris.
I didn't do it.
You are not funny.
That's not the point. Right, well.
How do they do it?
How do we watch it?
Why do we watch it?
I don't know.
Why do you watch it?
Yeah. So this was based on a novel, apparently. Not an Arthur Conan Doyle original. This is fanfic. It's one of the last things you're going to show in this game, the racist caricature.
Aye, and there's that.
Yeah, they're not smart. Everyone go review bomb. It's been a while. We don't have to worry about it. That's the last scene they show us. Holmes jump scare. Oh, the game just crashed. Okay, well. Oh no. My brain has melted, everybody. You just go here. Consider yourself fortunate.
They are not smart.
Aye, and there's that.
Yes. So, go play Space Marine 1 has better voice acting. So, there were like 7 plots in this, some of which crossed over by coincidence. A lot of the events that occurred were coincidence. I feel like some of the ideas I came up with made more sense. An idea I had was that rather than being sent to a boarding school, the guy's daughter ran away to work in the theatre and travelled around, and he was like, "Oh, I hate this," blah, blah, blah. But eventually she came back because they went bankrupt. But they were like, "What if we kill him and get the money, though? And then we could bring the theatre back together." But that, I think, is mostly predicated on the fact that there's only, like, they could only make one woman character model, so the actress looked like the daughter. I also thought the tablecloths that were blue were shorter because somebody cut them to get fabric to make costumes, but that wasn't true either. Yeah, the suit of armor automaton, that would have worked perfectly. But anyway, like, could we Fool's AU this? Is this something we could Fool's AU? We could come up with our own ending with exactly the same set of information that makes more sense. Oh, dear. Yeah, Sherlock's been playing an entirely different... Okay, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Cardinal sin of mysteries. Do not have the detective know more and not tell people. Do not have things in scenes we saw that we didn't see. This is my biggest issue with Heavy Rain as well, if you've ever played that. One of the most important pieces of information was something they just cut out of a scene we played. Yeah, instead somebody snuck under a snake-shaped table, which could have just been a horizontal line going straight from the door to the bar. It could have been. And frankly, I don't know why there needed to be a swap anyway. I don't know. I guess it's because the other guy needed to be good at shooting, I suppose. But also, the door didn't open the right way, but I can put that down to just bad modelling. Scenes we'd like to see. Literally anything other than this game. Jason! Like I said earlier, fill the draw of a detective game is that you figure out the plot alongside the detective. Yeah, like, you do not reveal secret information at the end. You're supposed to have all of the pieces so that the person can cleverly go, but then this was connected like this, and so on and so forth. It's all about making those connections. But no, apparently Sherlock has been in cahoots with like 5 people throughout this entire game, making secret pacts and deals. Sharing information we were not privy to. I say 5, I think it was 3. Yeah, not that the detective solves the mystery while he drags you along for something irrelevant. Knives Out is your standard for good detective stories. Knives Out's good. I remember enjoying Knives Out. I think I enjoyed Glass Onion more, but that's not really a detective story. But yeah, it's... I just feel like the detective genre isn't new. It's quite old. Like, people have techniques for doing these. Like, I am, in my head... Slight spoilers for a project I would like to work on this year at some point. I have in my head an idea for a mystery story set in October & Co. universe. It's not October Noir. It's just a silly little kind of whodunit sort of thing. But I'm apprehensive about doing it because I've never written anything like that before, and I know I need to make all of the pieces like fit together properly and communicate that information to the reader without necessarily giving things away. And like, I don't know enough about these techniques to be able to do that in a way that is satisfying. Stuff like this really gives me a proper confidence boost. But yeah, no, I could probably do it. I can do it better than this. Yeah, at any point in the movie you were given enough information so you could figure out a plot twist right before LeBlanc did. Yeah, you need that. That is an absolute essential component for a satisfying mystery. Is the viewer has to have all the information. Maybe delivered in a slightly, sleight of hand manner, but it's there. It was highlighted. We will flash back to it, Thank you, Bear. Appreciate that. I still need to get all the pieces together in my head. It's still a short story, but it's like, I would like it to be good. Wanna hang with you? I'll watch these movies. Yeah. I'll watch Knives Out again. Particularly, now you know how it goes. It's on a rewatch, you can have some fun with it. Frogware's Sherlock Holmes. You can write a better mystery. That's their tagline. Benoit Blanc. Yes, Benoit Blanc needs a mystery game with the Muppets. Frogware Sherlock Holmes. You could do better voice acting. I mean, Frogware Sherlock Holmes. You could do better. You could do better point and click games. I think the only thing I probably couldn't do better of is the music, but I could definitely do better mixing. With the same visuals as the Sherlock game. 7 polygons, Daniel Craig here. So long as it's not like the hair from Curse Eye of Isis. I kind of don't want to start the next game. I kind of just want to decompress. So I'll put on some music while we talk about how this game it was terrible. Sims 1 graphics. I like, you know me. I love me some jank. I love the charm of a low poly game. I also love how just like through most of me playing in this stream, there was like Cheeb and Kiro, and then as soon as the ending started, loads of people piled in, and it's like there is no point that you could have come in at that ending and it would have made any sense. I'm sorry to all of you. The game broke me. I do have another game lined up, but like it's not now. Not now. I believe you're saying it, but they did get better at making Sherlock Holmes. Yes, it is worth remembering that this was the first of this kind. Apparently there was one before, the first of this kind for this company, I should specify. This is not a one-of-a-kind thing. This company was making, like, I think point-and-click find, like, hidden item games before. But I think this was the first one with a narrative, or at least the first one I could find. So we have been going backwards, sort of. I think the next one, I don't know if the next one was The Awakened or Lupin, but they were the next two anyway. So they did get better, but they got better by making it less a mystery and more a action adventure, travel the world, solve puzzles sort of thing. Yeah, the other one had us and Lupin skating on the Rosetta Stone, and if you haven't seen that, I will make highlights eventually. I mean, I've got to make highlights of this because it was baffling. Shenanigans. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I knew the ending was going to be. I knew going in when Cheap said at the end of last stream that this was the final area. The theatre was the final area of the game before the summing up. I knew it was going to be. We are going to reveal lots of information that you couldn't have worked out because there was just. There were too many threads and not enough connective tissue, right? Too many patches of cloth and not enough thread. I wasn't expecting the pull of there were things we just didn't tell you, but they happened while you were there. Like, that's just bad. And also, like, it's finding out that people have, like, duplicate names. Like, there were already too many characters in this game, and then finding out that some of them are the same person, despite the fact that the only evidence we have that they're the same person was that they were in the same place at the same time. Or, like, we know this person spent some time in Brazil. We also know this other person was stationed as a prison guard in Brazil. Therefore, they were accomplices in murder. Yeah, I'm sorry, what? You wanna? Yeah, Brazil's such a small country is the thing. It's tiny. The head cold makes it more comprehensible. Yeah, don't think this would have been more comprehensible if you didn't have a cold. I don't have a cold, and I know I'm bad at keeping track of characters. But yeah, no, this didn't make sense. By the way, the beginning of the next game I'm going to play, I watched the opening cutscene, and it described Britain as a small island nation in the opening cutscene, which I thought was funny. And is connected to... So it would also refer to Brazil as a small South American country. During the ending, the cutscene was, that's hunting... oh god, I forgot about that! I forgot that we had met Hunter at the beginning of the game, thought they were insignificant because they said literally nothing. And then they turned up dead at the end of the thing. We didn't even get like a flashback to, oh, this was the... No one mentioned it was the barman. No one mentioned it was the barman when we went to his house because he'd been murdered. We were just like, why is this happening? There's just a random person got shot. I thought it was going to be one of those things where Holmes had like a deduction and he was like, okay, right. There's this jewelry involved. People are trying to hunt it down. Somebody found it. They sold it. You know, if it got sold to a pawnbrokers, I can find the pawnbrokers because I have connections. Oh, this person got murdered after going to this pawnbrokers. Right, we'll go to his house. I thought it was just like he was doing some detective work that we were not privy to, and it would all be explained at the end. It was someone we knew. It was someone we had met. Also, the fact that the accomplice to the assassination and the person who murdered the other two people, or two of the other people. More people died in this story than are normally in Sherlock Holmes stories. But yeah, the other guy we met once at the party and he was blind drunk, or he was pretending to be blind drunk. It's like we had no reason to believe he was anything at all. At least the racist India company guy did tax fraud so we could make an orphanage for Indian kids or whatever. Yeah, the guy who literally wiped out a village's worth of male inhabitants in order to build a bridge felt bad, so he's partially funding an orphanage. That's fine. I'm glad we helped that company. I mean, he got killed, but... Gonna scuttle back to your painting corner. Try and get name engraved on a wall. You got this. Have a wonderful. Hope it makes a lot of sense. And if it does make a lot of sense, open a window, because ventilation's important. Get it? Sense? Smells? Yellow men need the yellow. Give the yellow. I feel bad saying give the yellow right as Tube was talking about the racist. London would have fallen apart without this one company. There was also that. There was the fact that this company apparently was the backbone of all of London economics. Ragdoll in Discord. Oh boy, I'm going to have fun tonight after class. Hang on, where's my favourite GIF? There it is. Okay. Why the Chinese caricature there? The idea, to be fair, that one was actually a clue, which was they wanted to scare us off, but they had to use somebody... Wait, hang on. No, that doesn't make sense. I was about to say, they had to scare us off. They had to try and intimidate us off the trail, but they couldn't do it themselves, so they had to get other people to do it. And I was about to say they used their connections with the theatre to do it. But they didn't, because the only guy who was with the theatre was hiding from the theatre because they thought he was dead. So how did they contact the person from the theatre to do the Not even that makes sense. The one thing I thought was like, okay, this is a clue that the theatre has something to do with it, or somebody associated to the theatre is trying to, scare us off the trail. But he was associated with the theatre, and then he faked his death. So, yeah, no, that didn't make sense either. Yellow fellas. Hooray! Lewis is making cool robot friends. They're not actually robots, but in my head they are. Why is it the case of the silver earring? You can't see it, but my forehead is very ruffled right now as I try to work out the answer to that. So the earrings we used as keys to the box for reasons that nobody can adequately explain, that's fine. What was being held in the box that was important? Nothing? What was in the box? Because we didn't use the thing that was in the box in the final summing up. I thought it was going to be like a match of, like a love letter from the guy, which we would then match with some handwriting from... Okay, that would have been a way to connect these people together, right? If there was a letter in the box from the guy, like a handwritten love note saying, "Please, I love you, come with me," so on and so forth, run away with me. And Holmes found it and matched it with a note that was handwritten at the scene of the crime by the quote-unquote chef. And was like, this is the same handwriting, they're the same person. That's how we can make this connection. But instead there was a photo, as you say, there was a photo of a guy with a hand in front of his face, which I don't think was ever brought up again. I think it was supposed to be this other guy, but he had a hand in front of his face, so it didn't help. And also we have no record of the handwriting of the guy from the scene. So that first thing we could do is actually put something in that box that was incriminating, which is why they wanted the earring, so that nobody could open it. Maybe even, if you want to bring something back, make it so that they were trying to get the earring so that they could put one of those automated explosive devices inside the case so that if anybody else tried to open it, it would destroy everything. You know, if you want to bring that back, they'd already murdered that guy. They could have stolen one of those things from his house. Yeah, I would add a thing where we could learn at the last moment that actually the guy who was pretending to be French at the scene of the crime was actually the lover of the woman, of the actress who killed her and ran away. And then maybe also have a piece of evidence that suggests that the guy who was outside and was drunk was in some way connected to what was going on inside. Because I don't think we had anything. He was just one of the 3 drunk guys, right? All right, I guess he tore... Was this the guy who tore a part of his suit or something? He had to get out? That guy who was outside who was drunk was an actual character. It's like... Yeah, Mrs. Posting a gif of Benoit Blanc. It makes no damn sense. It does compel me. It compels me to rewrite it. Because you could turn this into a mystery with evidence. Also, the other thing is, the actual gameplay element I thought was legitimately quite interesting were the tests at the end. You have a journal full of information. You have physical evidence, you have anecdotal evidence, you have conversations, you have reports of events that have happened, and you have a quiz where you can put evidence into a thing to answer certain questions. And that's like, okay, Holmes is having thoughts, he needs to put those thoughts into action. He has questions, he goes into his mind palace or whatever, and he takes the evidence and works it all out. I guess they kind of brought that back in the newer Sherlock Holmes games, kind of. But in this game, like, it was so vague. Yeah, like, half the questions weren't relevant to anything. I thought they would eventually turn out to be relevant. No. Half of them were irrelevant, which I wouldn't mind if it was like, you know, at the end it was like, cool, we've made this connection, we've explained this problem, turns out it's a red herring, we'll ignore it, move on. I will allow that. Thank you, AutoMod. Yeah, there were constant references to pieces of red hair being around, and it's like, who is this mysterious redhead person? And then at the end, they were like, oh, I'm missing my red wig. It's like, okay, so somebody put on a red wig as a disguise. I wonder who that was and who they were pretending to be. Oh, they were pretending to be the brown-haired guy. Oh, okay. First of all, make Lieutenant Harrington ginger. So many changes. Are we going to legitimately do a Fool's AU of this? Because we could. There are enough pieces here to actually make a mystery. I still want the automaton armor. I still think that was a clever idea. Because you could use that as a red herring. You know, Holmes could see... What I thought was going to happen was Holmes would be able to see... Oh, this was never brought up either. Holmes would see the smoke on the door frame. And Watson would look through the book and he'd go, I see on this thing it says that when the height of a gun is usually at roughly eye height. So if you add 15 centimeters to it, that is the height of the person we're looking for. And Watson could be like, oh, I've worked a thing out. And I think it's this person because they're the exact right height according to that thing in the doorframe. And Sherlock Holmes would be like, Watson, you're an idiot. It was an automaton. It was this suit of armor that swiveled round, shot, and swiveled back. Who would look in the suit of armor for a gun? We can do a Fool's AU of this. Should we do one tomorrow? Should we do Fool's AU of this? I don't know if it'll take a whole stream, but it's been a while since we've done one. So the one joke of what's yellow with wheels? A duck. I lied about the wheels. That is this game. That is this game. Sherlock Holmes and the mystery of the duck with wheels. Thought someone hid in the well, not that they just threw something into the well in the kitchen. I mean, like, we could easily have fished out the things from that. Like, that's not a good way of disposing of evidence. There's a fire in that room. If you wanted to dispose of the costume, you could have thrown it in the fire. It might legitimately be worth sort of sitting down and working out a better mystery for this. And also a better, like, progression for the game. Because the start of the game felt like I was learning more information, and then about halfway through, every subsequent scene felt like I was a non sequitur. That had no connection to anything that occurred before. And then it ended. So a better progression of there's lots of parts that work. There's somebody who makes automata, there's like exploding drawers, there's the whole thing with the will, there's the theatrical troupe, there's the fact that the daughter was basically absent for ages. Another idea I had, my original idea was that the daughter went with the troupe instead of going to boarding school, and then he found out and brought her back and whatever. That he then bought the theatre and then turned it into a cement works basically to kind of ruin it as a kind of spite on his daughter, and so she was going to get revenge for that. That was my first idea, but during this stream I thought, well, what if actually the daughter died and this is all a ruse, and Lieutenant Harrington and quote Lavinia unquote were actors pretending to be these people, because this guy hasn't seen his daughter in 6 years. If they look similar, this could just be a ruse to try and get the inheritance by pretending to be these people. I thought that was an idea that could happen. I thought, oh no, that's a more clever idea than what I was going with before. It's like, you know, what if Lavinia died? And the actress was like, well, we looked similar. And this guy wouldn't know. So, also, sorry, just a random thing. That puff of smoke when she was at the door at the beginning was... question mark? The fact that he gave her a revolver just before he got shot was... question mark? Might give them more reason to kill the nephew Collins because maybe he would know. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a way to string this information together, and it's not this. It's not this. Like, sometimes we finish a game and we're like, that was a disaster, let's just move on. But other times we're compelled to be like, this could have worked. There could have been something. In theory, possibly. Maybe. Okay, well, tomorrow, let's try and piece this together. It's been a while since we've done a Fool's AU. Should we do it in Magma? Do people want to join? I don't know. I'll open it up if people want to chat in voice chat. It seems like a prime time to do that. Yeah, if people want to join, they can come in and I can make a big like map of ideas in Magma, and we can just try and connect it all together. Try and remember all the relevant information from the game and make it actually relevant. Sounds fun. It's been long enough that Fool's AU. I don't think has Bear been here for one. Certainly, I don't think Sawyer has. If you're unfamiliar, the name probably makes sense of Fool's AU. We just rewrite something. So named because it's a pun on Fool's Gold, because AU is gold. Don't think you'll be able to join for all of it. Need to babysit tomorrow, but might join for a bit. Yeah, welcome for as much as you wish. Yeah, we used to do... well, we didn't do a huge amount of them, but... sometimes. Our last Fool's AU was air. I don't even remember what it was. Yeah, rewrite something bad, make it less bad. We're not aiming for greatness, we're aiming for less bad. Just try and have the components make sense and feel satisfying in some way. Dead Island? I don't know. Oh, that's a lot of little guys. Lewis has many little guys to paint. This is a lot. Did we try and do Dead Island? I don't. We said we were going to do a lot. Like, I definitely remember saying we were going to do Call of Cthulhu at some point, but we never did. If I go to my YouTube, what was the last Fool's AU? Mute tab. They have playlists for these things. You do have some Call of Cthulhu AU notes. Well, maybe we can do that as well. I'll replay it on stream, just to remind us. Yeah, no, we didn't do that on stream.
Need a key.
There was a good chance. But alas. Fool's AU. Okay. It was Dead Island, actually, yeah. I have no memory of doing a Fool's AU Dead Island. Or Dead Island Fool's AU. Yeah, Man of Medan, we did that. Final Fantasy VIII. Dark Souls 2, did we do it? We did Dark Souls 2. Oh, that was the first one, apparently. Yeah, a memory of that. Oh, it was like, yeah, because in Dark Souls 2, the bosses really have no relation to anything, so I was like, what if we took the bosses and wrote a story for them? Which was a fun idea. So yeah, apparently we did one for Dead Island, or I don't remember what we did. We did one for Clive Barker's Undying when we finished that, because we were like, these characters are kind of cool and interesting, and there's no story here. Remnant. My milkshake brings all the plums to the ward. Why was it called that? Man of Medan. Ocarina of Time, apparently. We did a Fool's AU for that. Don't remember that. Final Fantasy VIII, that was after the draw through. I tried doing one for XCOM, designing an XCOM game. It didn't really work out. But yeah. And we did do Dead Island. We did. And tomorrow we will do another for the first time in 2.5 years or something. When was that? 21st of February 2023. So almost 3 years ago. The VOD is called Dead Island Fool's AU. What if characters with character? Question mark? This time we take the bountiful ideas from Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide and, you know, actually do something with them. Sassy past me. Should have had music going on in the background of this. Fool's AU! Fool's AU! Sherlock Holmes in the case of the weird coincidences. I do like mysteries, and I'd like to write some more mysteries, but I feel like this is a good place to start because we already have the components of 70 characters and lots of sort of backstory lore that we can actually work with and work out how to actually seed that in the story. Seeding, that's the word I want to really focus on. You need to seed ideas in a mystery. It's very important. Which is something that I also love about Inside Number 9, which I will, again... Inside Number 9 is my... Inside Number 9 to me is what Expedition 33 is to Kiro. I will recommend it at any point. But they're very, very good at seeding the story as it goes along. They tend not to do the flashback thing, but sometimes. 70 characters, even though we only need 4. Expedition 33, you say? So we've got numbers. It's about the number. I've got 9, you've got 33. Does anyone else have an obsession with a number in it? No sorries. I brought it up. But yeah. Stuff. Should we call it there? Should we call it an evening? I think so. Because if I talk anymore, we'll exhaust all our material for tomorrow. Don't think you have a number to recommend to everyone? Should get on that. No, I can't think of one associated with the things I associate you with in my head. Everyone find a number. What's your number? 118, 118? Yeah. Oh yeah, 3. No, 3. That's a pretty important one for quite a lot of you. It is, after all, the magic number. I'm going to stop now. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I hope you had time. And we'll see you tomorrow for rewriting that mess. I think it will be fun. There's a lot there. Like I say, we'll do it in Magma, and people can join on chat and talking and stuff. You don't have to, of course. I will be reading chat. But, yeah. It'll be interesting. Hopefully. It'll be more interesting than the game. Oh, it's another one I need to bloody make a highlight reel of. Too many games. Too many games to make highlight reels of. Don't have time. I need to play more boring games. And yes, hopefully everybody's cold clears up and you feel good and stuff like that. If everyone's feeling like crap, we can postpone it to a different time, but, you know. There's also other Fool's Day use we can do. So, stuff like that. We can do more like, you know. I do kind of worry that my streams are getting a bit samey sometimes, and it'll be fun to sort of throw other ideas in there. More Fool's Day use and boss brushes and draw-throughs and stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Hope everybody has a nice time. Oh, another number for Lewis and Dark, yeah. 40k. It's like 20k, but double. Have a lovely. Look after yourselves and such. Be good and happy and such. Get warm drinks, stay cozy, clear sinuses, etc. Have a good bye.